All right. All right. I finally got this damn thing together. I don't know what was going on with that other thing. But all right then. So I don't listen, man. I don't really have a lot of time, so I'm trying to make this quick. I'm doing this, I took a lunch break. I meant to go earlier, but I was having me some technical difficulties. So let's go ahead on and go through this rundown real quick, man. So first thing let's talk about Alexander Usyk is out there, he wants to fight Deontay Wilder. And at first, I wasn't going to talk about this. Then I start hearing people talking about, so, oh, Usyk's ducking Fabio Wardley, and oh man, Usyk is taking the easy route, and oh, this ain't the display of a champion. Hey man, listen, let me tell you something. If there's one fighter in boxing that has earned the cherry pick, because understand something. The same people that say that are same people that had no problem with Canelo Alvarez fighting and underdeserving and probably on a very extremely low skill level fighter compared to himself in both Edgar Berlanga and Jaime Munguia. So I'm not trying to hit that shit. I'm really not. But Alexander Usyk fighting Deontay Wilder, Alexander Usyk will get a pass from me because if you look at the body of work this man has done, his overall body of work that this man has done in way less fights than a lot of people, he has earned the right to say, hey, I want to fight Deontay Wilder, because the reality is Deontay Wilder would wrap up that last chain of fighters that was there in his era, um, that he, what I'm saying, that should have fought. Because mind you, Usyk kind of came in and kind of fucked up the game, right? Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, and Anthony Joshua is all everybody was talking about. And then Usyk, when these guys didn't fight each other, of course, but you had Wilder and Fury fighting, right? But then Usyk came in and fucked up the game. He said, you know what, man, y'all bullshitting. You know what? Y'all bullshitting with this undisputed. So you know what? I come on in, I'll take these belts. I'll take these belts. And that's exactly what Usyk did. Okay. And fighting Deontay Wilder will close out the loop, because remember, it was Fury, Joshua, and Wilder were the three top dudes that everybody was talking about at heavyweight. Right. And like I said, Wilder and Fury fought. Joshua didn't fight neither Wilder nor Fury, never got the chance. Of course, Wilder lost, not once, but twice when they was talking about that fight with Anthony Joshua. He didn't lose not once, he lost twice. He lost with Joseph Parker, and then if he'd have beat Zili Zhang, they probably would have made the fight again. He wound up losing against, got knocked out against Zhang, right? So Alexander Usyk looking to fight Wilder kind of closes that circle. So I don't have no problem with him looking to fight Deontay Wilder. I truly, really don't. Right now, Wilder's not going to beat him. Of course, it's not. And it's he probably wind up knocking out Deontay Wilder. But if you look at Usyk's entire resume, Usyk has had top fighter, pound for pound guys on his fucking resume. Usyk was not bullshitting. When he beat Anthony Joshua for the second time, he made it clear, I want Tyson Fury next or I'm not fighting. That's exactly what the fuck he said. He said, I want Tyson Fury next or I'm not fighting. He beats Tyson Fury, fights him twice, has to give up the belt. Then, of course, he beat Daniel DeBow. Then he circles the block, beats DeBow again, and become a two-time undisputed. Okay? So people talking about something, you ducking Fabio Wardley. Usyk don't have to fight Fabio Wardley. And that's just to be honest, he don't have to. Now, should he fight him? That's up for debate. We can say, hey man, you should go to recapture your belt. But if Usyk is looking to retire and he's gonna listen, man, I want one last fight before I retire, I got no problem with him fight Deontay Wilder because it closes that circle of the heavyweights. When he came into the division, those were the three top heavyweights, and it closes that circle. Fighting Deontay Wilder closes that circle. When he came into the heavyweight division, those were three guys. Those were the guys that was in my era. You know what? I'm going to fight Deontay Wilder. I'm going to close that circle. I'm going to ride off into the sunset. And I have no problem with that because, again, if you look at Usyk's overall body of goddamn work in both cruiserweight and in heavyweight, this dude has done nothing but fight top dudes. He made it very clear. I want the champions. I want undisputed. He didn't play with us. He didn't bullshit us around. He did exactly that. So I have no problem if for his farewell fight, he decides I want to close the circle of the heavyweights that was the top dudes when I came in by fighting Wilder. I have no problem with that at all, period. Will it be an exciting fight? I don't believe it will because I think Wilder's washed. I really don't. right? And Usyk is that type of fighter where you're gonna need more than one punch to knock him out. Power and you're gonna need more than power to knock out Alexander Usyk, right? You just can't have power to knock out Alexander. You're gonna need more than power to knock out Alexander Usyk. So I have no problem with him fight Deontay Wilder. Everybody out there that seem to have an issue with it, to each their own. Say what you want to say, but to say he's ducking Fabio Wardley, that's a joke to me. Fabio Wardley, that's a joke to me. The reality is that fight, really, from a financial standpoint, that fight ain't worth really nothing to him because he could fight Deontay Wilder, and the presence of Wilder's punching power will still be something people want to watch and see that fight, right? Right. The big money fight for Fabio Wardley, in my honest opinion, is going to be him and Moses Atuma. That'll be the big fight. And I think if Usyk fights Wilder and retire, Atuma probably wind up picking up a belt, and then that's the fight that you make: Fabio Wardley versus Moses Atuma. So, all right, man. So next up, so the Cleveland Browns are going to have the same issue at quarterback that they're going to have when the season starts back up. They're going to have the same fucking issue. And here's the reason why they're going to have the same issue. So they fired Stefanski, which I'm going to go on record and make it very clear. Stefanski wasn't nothing but a fucking scapegoat. Because the playing and not playing and the way that was handled with Shedeur Sanders, that had nothing to do with Stefanski. That came from the fucking top. And what I mean by that is that came from the owner. And last time I checked, owner cannot, will not, and shall not fire themselves. So that came from the fucking owner. Let's make that very clear. And here's why I say they'll have the same problem. The owner is willing to commit on who's going to be the starting quarterback, not to mention the fact you got to give Deshaun Watson a chance to play. Why? Because you got to give that man $50 fucking million. You got to give him a chance to play because you got to see if you can recoup some of that 50 million goddamn dollars that you spent on him. Remember, they signed him for $230 million guaranteed, right? That's what they signed him on for, $230 million guaranteed. And he's paid like trash ever since he got there. But unless you want to just go ahead on and admit that, hey, we fucked up and bench him, I don't see how you justify doing that without seeing, hey, what can we get out this $50 million? We got to pay this dude. That's one reason why they're going to have the same problem. The fact that they don't want to commit to Shedeur being the starter, because imagine if Shedeur had a chance to work with the starters, came in training camp working with the starters, well, then who knows what he could have done? Who knows how sharp he would have been, right? Not to mention the fact, regardless of who's back there, you got to get an offensive line. You got to get at least one goddamn playmaker. Yeah, you got the tight end, but you need one playmaker on the wide receiver turn, right? So there's some pieces that they got to get. So they're gonna have the same problem with that team, especially with them not willing to just go in and say, "Listen, man, we fucked up with Watson. We're going to let him go. We're going to have to pay him whatever we got to pay him." Shedeur showed promise. He showed us the fans like him. We're going to go with Shedeur Sanders as our starting quarterback. They don't want to do that. So, and then again, that's coming from up top. That ain't a coach. The owner said, "Oh, the new coach is going to decide the quarterback." What do you mean the new coach is going to decide the quarterback? No, he's not. Because guess what? The coach you had couldn't decide the quarterback because you wouldn't fucking let him. You wouldn't fucking let him. So how's the new coach going to do anything when you didn't let the old coach do nothing? So Brown's gonna have the same issue. They're gonna have the same problem. But Stefanski was a fucking scapegoat. Point blank period. He was a scapegoat because everything he did when it came to Shedeur, that shit came from the fucking top, right? All right, man. So next thing we're gonna move on to Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. I had a conversation with a couple people, and I got people who thinking this fight's gonna be an easy fight for either fighter. Some people are saying that Teofimo Lopez is going to be an easy fight for him because Shakur don't have no offense, which I don't know what the fuck motherfuckers talking about. Ask Oscar Valdez about that offense. Shit, ask Williams Zepeda about that offense. And you can say Shakur, his punching power is suspect, and that's because his hands is starting to always break his hands. So he's starting to have issue with his hands, and I can see that. I can definitely see that. So he's definitely starting to have problems with his hands. But anyway, so with that being said, well, the next obvious people are saying how, oh man, Stevenson is gonna look good and have an easy fight against Lopez because of his defense. And I don't see that being the case, right? Because Teofimo Lopez, he does struggle with boxers, and I think Shakur activity is a factor in the fight. But Teofimo Lopez has shown me something, man. He's been a lot focused and shown me something. I mean, think about Honor Barboza. Honor Barboza is more offensively minded, in my opinion, than Shakur, right? But Honor Barboza, he was struggling. The thing about Teofimo Lopez is he needs you to come at him and be an effective counterpuncher. That's why, like, guys who can box give him a lot of trouble, with the exception of Honor Barboza. Honor Barboza couldn't give him that kind of trouble because of the fact that I don't think Honor Barboza, from a boxing standpoint, was as sharp as he needed to be, right? But Teofimo Lopez, he looks to counter. He'll take the lead if he see it there. Like, there are certain things he does that Shakur's defense nullifies, and then there's certain things that Shakur's defense has that I think that Teofimo Lopez does that can nullify that. So it's not going to be a walk in the park for either fighter. Anybody out there saying this is going to be a walk in the park, you lost your motherfucking mind. You don't know what you're talking about, and that's bullshit. Like, I'm just going to be real and keep it real. Anybody out there that's trying to say that this fight is going to be an easy fucking fight for either fighter, you've lost your goddamn mind. This fight is not going to be an easy fight for either one of these dudes. Neither one of these dudes is going to have an easy fight, right? Now, this may turn out to actually be somewhat of a, I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be a super over exciting fight. I think it's going to be more of a fight for the purists, because although Teofimo Lopez in the ring IQ department, I think he's not as sharp as Stevenson, right? But neither one of these guys like taking lead. Both of these guys like reacting to what it is you're going to do. So it could be not so much as relatively a very exciting fight in the beginning. Toward the end, I think maybe in the middle, it might pick up a little bit, but I think for like the first 3-4 rounds, I could see them trying to figure each other out, taking some time and not trying to lead, not trying to be the guy to go first to give the other guy that advantage, right? So I don't think this fight is going to be an overly exciting fight. I think it's going to be more for the purists, people who can look at boxing, who can look at a chess match and understand what they're watching. I think it's going to be for that, right? So, we'll see, man. All right, next up, and this one I'm gonna be on for a while. Like I said, man, I'm gonna do another one because I got to talk about this. So Ryan Garcia took a lie detector test, and in the lie detector test, he was asked, did you cheat against Devin Haney, blah blah blah, and whatever. The person on the test was like, hey, he's telling the truth. And then you got all these people, oh, Ryan Garcia is vindicated. Ryan Garcia is vindicated. And even Ryan Garcia, I remember when they asked him them questions, and they asked him something else about, did you knowingly take a steroid or whatever? And he said no. And it said, oh yeah, he's telling the truth. Ryan goes, oh man, all these accusations. Number one, Ryan, they're not accusations anymore, because you were suspended and you paid the fine. So it's no longer accusations. You actually fucking did it, right? Understand. So first of all, a lie detector test don't prove anything, because if that's the case, if you say he could have took a lie detector test and cleared his name, or why didn't he require or demand that they take a lie detector test during that whole process when they was trying to find if he was guilty or innocent? Why not be like, hey, let me take a lie detector test, right? You didn't do it then. Why not? And let's make another thing clear, right? A lie detector test is not as effective as it used to be back in the old days. People have learned how to pass a lie detector test. Okay, people have learned how to, and then certain questions that you can ask somebody, and they can answer a certain question a certain kind of way. And guess what? The motherfuckers will pass a lie detector test, right? That's like, for example, if somebody asks me, is your name, John J. Jones? I'm just gonna say something like that. Hey, if your name is your name John J. Jones? And I say no. And I pass. Because truthfully, my name isn't John J. Jones. My name is John and whatever the J in my middle name stands for. Let's say my name, stands for John James Jones. And I say, no, my name is John James Jones. But nobody ever says their middle name out, right? Every time you write, you don't write your middle name. You just write, John J and Jones. You know what I'm saying? You do that. So yeah, I can sit there and be asked that question. I can say, is your name John J. Jones? I mean, no. I'm telling the truth. My name isn't John J. Jones. My name is John James Jones. So a certain questions you can ask somebody. But on top of that, this is something he paid for. He did on the live stream. Do you all really think? Do you really think that they didn't rehearse this before they went fucking on this live stream and do this? Do you really think that they didn't practice this before they went on a live stream and did this? So him passing a lie detector test means nothing. He still tested positive for a banned fucking substance. At the end of the day, that's what he did. Why are people so insistent on wanting to give this motherfucker a pass? I don't get it. I don't understand it. Because to me, here's how I know that boy was on something. Look at his behavior in the build up to the Haney fight, and look at his behavior in the build up to the Rolly fight. Two different people. Look at his performance against Haney, and look at his performance against Rolly. So if you want to sit there and tell me that he wasn't on something, he wasn't enhanced, look at his behavior. Check out his behavior, then check out his demeanor in either fight. He was so let me get this straight. You were super supreme confidence against Devin Haney, who's a much better superior fighter, but you were not super supreme confidence against Rolly Romero. So what's the common denominator there? But people who trying to give him a pass, and it's crazy, right? And it's funny. Because again, if you're telling me that you were innocent, that you did nothing wrong, then you don't agree to pay the fine. You say, man, I'm not paying that fine. I'm not taking no suspension. I'm not paying that fine. I ain't taking no suspension. Give me a lighty. Like all of that should have happened right then when everything was going down. I'm not paying no fine. I'm not taking no suspension. Give me a lie detector test. You guys hired a motherfucker. Because the one he took, he hired the dude. You guys hired a motherfucker. Bring him in, hire a third party. Y'all bring him in, give me a lie detector test. Well, that's not what happened. Because mind you, when he paid the fine and he accepted the suspension, that is an admission of guilt. Regardless of how y'all feel about it, it's an admission of guilt. And then at the end of the day, he still tested positive, whether he willingly or unwillingly, whether he knowingly or unknowingly, which I don't believe anything about unknowingly, because as a fighter, you're supposed to know what the fuck you're putting in your body. Because remember when he first tested, he said, man, I don't take anything. I don't even take supplements. Then all of a sudden, oh man, I took this supplement and it's cross-contamination. So we went from you don't take anything at all, period, to, oh, the supplement I took was cross-contamination. And I told y'all before, I believe that the Austrian is a masking agent. I believe he was on steroids. He just took Austrian as a masking agent because they knew he was going to pop. So him passing a lie detector test, that doesn't mean anything, especially when you're talking about a lie detector test that you took, that you paid for, that you hired these people and you brought them in. We don't know who these people are. We don't know if these people are certified. We don't know if that machine has been properly tested. We don't know anything. We know nothing. We don't know the name of the company. We know nothing. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what the qualifications are of these people. We don't know jack fucking shit. What do we know? What do we know? You just put up, you being hooked up to a lie detector and being tested, and we just put that up. And then, like I said again, the reason why people no longer use lie detector tests as proof of innocence or guilt is because of how inconsistent them things are nowadays. Because, like I said, a person can be extremely nervous, and because they're nervous, they answer a question honestly, and it would come across as if they fail, or it would flag it as some type of inconsistent because they're fucking nervous. A person extremely calm, who's extremely calm under pressure, can answer a question dishonestly and still fucking pass it. And who's normally trained for being calm in pressure situations? Fighters. Huh. Fighters. So like I said, man, it don't prove anything. And people out there trying to say, see, he's innocent. He's innocent. No, bro, he's not innocent because he still tested positive. The only thing that you could say that lie detector test may have proved was, well, he didn't willingly take the step. That's the only thing you can say. But you can't say he's innocent because he did test positive. He did accept the punishment. He did pay the goddamn fine. So you can't say that. Him and his own team even said cross contamination. So if it was cross contamination, then yeah, motherfucker, you popped and you still a cheat. you popped, you popped and you still a cheat. And I hate to say this and I hate to go there, but let that have been Devin Haney. We wouldn't be trying to listen to nothing Devin Haney fucking trying to say. Hell, Devin Haney's the one that got cheated. We ain't trying to hear nothing he got to fucking say. Let this be Jerron Boots Ennis. Do y'all really think we're gonna listen to anything he has to say? As a matter of fact, not only are we not gonna listen to what he has to say, we're gonna start questioning all of his fucking wins. We're gonna question all of his goddamn wins. So, but anyway, man, that's all I got time for. Like I said, I tried to get on earlier, but I just wanted to do this and take my lunch, man. So, all right, man, I'm out. You guys, man, I'm gonna holler at y'all, man. Peace.